Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Unveiled Voices. My name is Mariam, still one of your hosts for the podcast, and we have with us as usual, Anifah. Anifah, do you want to say hi?
Hi everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah. How are you, Anifah? How are you doing?
Right now, having a headache. But yeah, I'm doing okay. Doing good actually.
How's your week?
My week.
Are we going to hear some work?
Honestly, even me, I don't want to talk about work.
What?
Guys, like I need to figure out my life because I just realized that every time I start with work. Okay, this week what happened outside of work? My sister is around. She's visiting, so that's a good one.
Nice. Outside of work.
What did you say?
I said nice outside of work.
Exactly, outside of work. So my sister is around. She's gonna be here tomorrow, as well, which is good before I go on my road trip. I think this week was a solid 7, out of 10. I was a very productive week at work. um, also productive outside of work, and always happy to see family. So yeah, not a bad week. What about you?
So mine started off very hot because it's the first week of the month. So
Did you say hot? Like
like hot, obviously, because first week of the month.
like temperature hot or something?
No, like hot, like
Because like I'm hot, girl. Here in London.
no, like as in very busy, very.
Why is it so busy for you at the start of a month film?
Because we usually do month-end close. So every month you close your financials basically. So and as finance, that's one of the critical.
Is that how it works in all companies, or is it just your company?
No, that's how it works in all companies. So I'm in financial plan and analysis. So at the start of the year, you do a yearly budget. Then every month you reconcile month on month how that
How you're
budget
tracking
versus actuals, and you have to explain, bridge, do reconciliation, so all of that. Explaining the why, basically. So yeah, it started off very hectic. What was the major highlight of my week? I started reading a new book, The Muslim Girl.
How are you finding the Muslim girl?
It's not as I like the storyline.
Does it fall into the category of like halal romance books,
Definitely no.
or just a romance book?
It's not. It's not a romance book because
What's the book about?
Yeah, so it's about a Muslim girl that was living in Saudi Arabia. I moved to America, and in America, seeing that she's different from every other person, she was even wearing full-on kimars.
Welcome to our world.
Exactly. So first day, because of somebody kind of called a terrorist day before.
Oh wow!
So because of that, she was like, I don't think I'm going to
So she
fit
got
in here.
the fully packaged
Yeah.
racism blatant in your face.
Exactly.
Is
So-
that racism, or I don't even know?
Yeah, religiousism.
Islamophobia.
Yeah, so because of that, the very first day before she went into her classroom, she took off the hijab.
Oh wow!
Sort of not on purpose, but it sort of happened. And since then, it was hard to go back to wearing the kimar because she felt taking off her hijab made her fit in. So she was basically living double life. So
Yeah,
full on kimar sister
at home.
then non-hijabi in school.
That sounds like a very
Yeah.
intense
Yeah. No, I mean it's for most hijabis that can struggle with fitting into places where they are the ones. Like you could see some of like there's like connect to okay, probably she's feeling this way and all that. I'm not done with the book yet. I'm liking how it is going, but it's definitely not
How
as
far along are you? Like
I think I have like just 30 pages on my phone left. So it's something I will definitely
on that
finish.
note, I am actually reading a book by is it Fatima Bala, right?
Oh, please don't give me spoilers.
Of course, I'm not doing spoilers. So this one is not the popular one. I think the popular one is the
not broken.
Broken, not a halal love story. This one is Afsa to
Baby.
Please, guys,
Yeah.
forgive me if I'm murdering this.
Yeah.
I think it's a story about loss and identity.
Yeah.
And I've still not figured out the lost part because
I mistakenly went to TikTok and I found a spoiler and I'm like, okay, I've not even read the book and I
so
just
far
don't.
it's like no, there's like a plot like
Okay.
somewhere in the like peripherals of the story where I'm at right now. But it's like, okay, get to
Where
the
is
point
it?
of the like where's the loss here? Where's the identity part? But I think interesting book so far. It's interesting how like I started reading very young, right? I used to read a ton, and it's like the choices now of the types of books you can like read, it has exploded, especially when we're talking even about like Muslim identity, those like niches, and not real stories, like proper fiction. Like, this is amazing. We're spoiled for choice now. So yeah.
So I'm the book is interesting, definitely, but not as it's not her. Like I'm not looking for the author.
You just like let me not judge you, but the reason why everybody is raving about broken halal love story.
You like
I'm not going to
romance.
talk about it. I'll bend the conversation for another day.
Yeah, but shout out to Fatima Bala.
Shout out to Fatima Bala.
I went to her DM. I'm like, yo, I really loved your book. I love that. So shout out to her.
Like, you are such a fine girl. Gosh.
No, the book was really nice. Like 10/10.
So are we going to be seeing a novella from Mariam?
I mean, maybe.
Ooh, I see.
Maybe. So I used to have a list of things I
want to do.
Yeah, one was being an OAP artist, which I think I'm ready capitalizing.
Artist.
Yeah, like
why is there an artist at the back? Like
on a personality artist, I think.
I think it was OAP.
Oh, okay.
OAP is descriptive
enough. Yeah. So like Unveiled Voices, I'm already actualizing that. Alhamdulillah.
We move.
Yeah.
I want to get that too.
I mean, I want to be a painter, but I do that.
You already do that.
But not, maybe I've not painted this year.
We are quite accomplished. I need to take a leaf out of your book.
Accomplished.
Yeah. Mariam is very good at painting. Like,
I haven't painted this year. So I need to fix up.
We need to change that.
Yeah, exactly.
Book a date, book a time.
I need to fix up. Yeah. So yeah. But I think that was how the week went by. So looking forward to next week. Next week I'm only working for 2 days because I'm traveling.
Ooh. For work?
No.
For pleasure. Oh my god. Wait,
the pleasure sounds so far.
For personal
recreational purposes. Yeah, so I'm visiting a friend, which would kind of touch on the topic we want to discuss.
Ooh, you've already giving them
exposed.
You've already told them what we want to talk about.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Then once I get back, I think that's the end of my summer travels.
And then it's like
maybe walk. Yeah, then maybe walk trips.
Winter.
Exactly. I'll get back to it. Okay, cool. So I mean, the last episode we talked about the heart of community building, and we touched around how building communities is something that is important to being a Muslim, because from there you're able to get a group of like-minded people, you're able to see people you relate to and all of that. And we also touched on how relationships are key in terms of that community building essentially. And part of the relationships you can keep would be your friendships. So this week we would want to explore friendships, actually also in the context of being a Muslim and being a Black Muslim and also Muslim in diaspora. So
it's interesting that in the context of being a Muslim, in the context of being a Black Muslim, because that sounds like a lot. Like when I think about friendships, all those things don't come to my mind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would also want to, especially in this climb where you are, right? You already have friends that are not necessarily people.
I think we can come back to that. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So, when you think about friendships, let's just maybe start with you. What do you think about friendship?
Yo, I'm thinking about, when I think about friendship, like, I'm thinking about like someone I'm cool with. We can talk. I can tell them the truth. We can tell each other the truth. It's also like someone I feel just this sense of comfort around. Because I feel like, I don't know, friendships these days, the things I've seen and heard online, it's like y'all are dining with your enemies. Like, these guys are not your friends. And so when I think friendship, everything I've said, and just that sense of closeness and comfort with each other, and the sense of this is my person, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Maybe asking separately, how many friends do you have and how many acquaintances do you
Well,
have?
what kind of question?
No, not like giving, not like giving a number. Right? I'm just, it's sort of a rhetorical question.
So now, I'm not saying numbers, so people will say,
Oh, you're not my
thought I
friend.
was your friend.
Okay, maybe rephrase it. Like, do you think you have?
You know what? I think I'm very intentional when I use the word friends. Like, I'm not going to call you my friend if I don't think you're my friend. That being said, over the last few years, I've realized that friends, like, there are different levels to friendships, if that makes sense. Like, there are literally friends that you are like this. You are talking every day. They know everything almost real time as it's happening. And then there are friends that, you've had that kind of closeness with, but due to one reason or another, it's not as real time anymore. So that's another bucket of friends, right? And they're probably friends where I like to, it's not a good way to call them, but they are more like friendship towards certain things. Like, okay, maybe, oh, this is my gym friend. We go to the gym together. We are very cool, but outside of the gym, like,
there's not
do
much.
you get what I mean? So the way I would bucket it is that there's a category of like real time close friends. You see each other, talk to each other almost all the time. They know the things that are happening in your life as it's happening. Usually they will have shared values as you, right? Like, to be honest, if you are talking real time to someone, there's something keeping you that close together. And there's the other level where maybe it's more that they are friends with you because you have just some certain shared interests. By the way, they are work friends too. So, or maybe, you've had that level of intense friendships like before, but due to one reason or the other, it's not as real time anymore. But obviously, because of your history, like, you guys are still friends. You get what? So that's the way I would kind of bucket it in my mind, right?
Yeah, I think I echo everything you said, and particularly myself as a person, I am very strict about who I call my friend. And I think we also talked about this. I think we were ending the last episode where we said for guys, like, they tend to use the word friends loosely. Like, everybody is literally their friend.
I think we have girls too that do
That
that. But
tend to,
by and large, I've seen it a lot more in the men. Everybody's their guy.
Exactly. So for me, I mean, for you to be my friend, we definitely align on a lot of things. We have similar interests. You're someone I can tell stuff to. Yeah, you're someone I can trust. Not like I'm like, oh, if I tell this person this particular thing, I'm not sure of what this person's response would be. I'm not sure of what kind of help this person can offer to me in a particular scenario. So you're basically somebody that I can confide in and tell things about myself. I also write about like the different buckets of friends. Obviously, there are going to be friends that you will be able to confide in more than others. So there are people you would probably even be able to tell like literally anything, and there are people you would just tell stuff. But it's not like exactly. But it's not like you guys are all cool. You guys are like still friends and all of that. So, what particular qualities do you think you value in a friend? And maybe defining the friend here as somebody you're like very cool with, very close to, and you can.
I think this one is even like general. Any type of relationship, like friends, romantic, whatever, like, I need to know when you talk, you're telling the truth. Like, that's just such a fundamental thing, because the kind of person I am, I lose, like, once you lie to me once, or once you quote unquote lie unnecessarily, I deem it unnecessarily, because why are you lying?
Why? Like, why?
Why? I just look at you with like a side eye, like, So I really value, I really value honesty, right? And honesty, even down to things you omit, right? There's a difference between you omit stuff because you forget, and you omit stuff because you don't want me to know. And I put you on that level of friendship where I'm coming to tell you all my things, you know everything about me.
And then I don't know
exactly
about you.
I think the ability to communicate as well. I so value people that, like, when they have a problem, and this can be either when they have an issue with you, or maybe they see something great you're doing that they want, like, just being like, yo, like, babes, I didn't really like, how you said this, or this is how you made me feel. What I don't like is people like holding on to stuff. And I'm saying this not because I've never done it before. By the way, when we come here and say all these things, it's not like we ourselves
have
are
the
not struggling.
blueprint.
I just needed to get that out, because I know some people might be listening and feel like, but Anifah was, beating me one time or so. Like, guys, like, we were all young ones, and even now I'm sure there are people that will be like, oh, but I tried to be friends with her, and like, sorry, like,
yeah.
you get what I mean? Anyway, back to what I was saying. It's like, you need to be able to communicate, like, when the ebbs and the flows are happening, how you're feeling with your friends. And doing it from an objective way. So I always say things like, there's how you feel and there's the reality. So when I even table issues I have with my friends, for example, I'm like, this is how it made me feel. I'm giving the, like, benefit of the doubt that there may be a world where I'm reading this completely wrongly, right? So I also just think I don't want friendships where the default is I'm coming to fight, or it's tough, or it's hard, or it's like I'm already dealing with enough. Like,
I don't want to put
from
this
the
on top
outside
of that.
world. It should really be a safe space. We can argue, we can disagree, we can have things we completely differ on, right? But I hold those two values, like, really, you need to have that to really, for me to consider you like a close friend.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, honesty is definitely key. I think what I would add on would be that reliance of some sort. Like, I need to know that you are somebody I can count on. You
In
are
what way? So you can call them, yo, I need 10 million.
Anifah, I
10
need 10
million.
million.
Bro.
Anifah, I need 10 million here. No, definitely not monetary aspect, but I just know that I can always count on you to, like.
So why is it count on? What do you mean exactly?
So it doesn't have to. So if I'm going through stuff, right, and I talk to you
Going
about
through
it,
life.
I bounce it at you. Like, I know you would probably be there to help me reason through
it. Yeah.
think through it, figure it out, not just, I don't know.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, yeah, you told me what it is. So again, I think that's why, right, to what I said earlier, I'm very strict about people I call my friends. The fact that you didn't want to put a number to it, but I think at this point in my life, I can say keep a number to you, because
dangerous game, my sister. Dangerous game. Don't do that.
Like, there are people I'm cool with. I mean, you'll always be cool with people, and there will always be people that are your people.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, have you been in a friendship that you thought this person was your friend, but the other person, they did not necessarily consider you as a friend? Like, they just see you as, okay, yeah, we're cool. But to you, you felt the relationship was more of a friendship, but to the other person, it wasn't exactly a friendship.
Man, let me think about this one. This one is hard.
I had that. I mean, I had
I
that
think it's
growing up.
probably the flip side for me.
Yeah.
I think I'm becoming this scenario. And honestly, it wasn't intentional. So this was a person where, like, we met online. and we were close to a certain
I
extent.
haven't made any online friends. I need to
So
fix it.
that's one of the things about me. I think subconsciously I used to, and I think I still hold that belief that I don't know you really, like, or in my head, like, why? I just feel like in person relationships, right? Or people that I've known, I've seen, I've thought, I've spoken to is a different thing from chatting online. But this person actually, it didn't end online. Like, we actually met and, we talk. And I thought, like, based on the level at where we met and the pace of how we catch up, or we used to catch up, I thought we were okay with that level of friendship.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until years later that this person was like, oh, actually, that time I tried to do X, I tried to do Y. You didn't tell me about this. And I was like, no, I think I actually told you this. I just didn't tell you when. I'll give you a sense of, oh, I'm doing this sometime soon. But on that day, maybe I didn't
tell you the details.
Do you get? Maybe I didn't tell you the actual day. And that was just at the level I think we were at. And again, as a consequence of, we were probably not talking at the time of everything. And only for it to come out years later, like, babes, I tried to be like closer to you.
Thank you.
But, you were just. And again, if I zoom back to this time in my life, this was when I'd moved here for like fully. This was in 2019. I was starting a new job. I was starting a new life. I mean, some people say, yeah, you've been here before for the internship and all. But yeah, look, this was completely different. I was leaving everything I knew in Nigeria. This was a job. I needed to give it my all. I was also integrating here. So that consumed so much land space in my head. This person at the time did not say that then. I only found out, I think, sometime last 2 years or so. A significant amount of time. So I probably, like I said, I don't think I've been in a relationship where I carry someone on a higher level and then I found out they bench me at a lower level.
Yeah.
It can very much be the case, but I didn't notice. Look, guys, I'm very self-absorbed, so things happen.
Yeah, I think mine was secondary school. So again, I didn't exactly have like the best of experiences with friendships. So maybe that's again one of the reasons why.
What happened?
Well, so I had like cases of really bad friendships, like friends that literally maybe like backbiting, saying bad things about you, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So
do you know what? I think you said secondary school,
yeah,
right?
secondary school,
I think secondary school, early uni is probably the worst time to judge someone based on, because I feel like I can vaguely remember some drama in my life at that time as well. Just especially early uni for me, because I like to say I'm a late bloomer. And it's like there were so many stupid things that probably as a result of like being a teenager, the hormones, the freedom you had, like going to uni all of a sudden, that would probably not be the best. I just had to cut in there because I can vaguely remember that. Even me, I'm sure some people are really villain in their stories.
Yeah, exactly. So that, but there was this particular person that I thought we were friends because I actually went to this person's house. So
that means it's deep, because back then you couldn't just be visiting people
exactly. So and I later found that I can't remember what, like, there were some events that happened and I'm like,
so what did they say about it? I mean, I don't know this person.
No, they obviously didn't. It wasn't like, oh, maybe we had a conversation on, I thought you were my friend and you're not my friend, but I just clicked at some points that
so maybe, what, they were excluding you and stuff, they were not.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll get to know about what this person did from another person and I'll be like, I know your friend,
what's going on?
Why should I know you? So
and you guys were talking and saying,
exactly. So again, it's not, I didn't say necessarily any fault of the person, but it's not, like you said, I kissed the person and the particular person.
that okay, based on the level we're at, I should be updated pretty like constantly. And
exactly. So there was that. Then I had case of the real time, the one I really time I've had street fights.
Oh my God, physical fight.
But it wasn't that deep. But it was
Oh,
street fight. They
I
shall
don't think
still
I've
beat
ever
you.
gotten into a physical. I'm so like,
Was
I'm
because
out
of
of
a friend. Was because of a friend. I went to go and support my friend.
Okay, so you were fighting on behalf of
I was
them.
trying to be out for it. Wasn't
Yo,
me.
you are very brave, man. Like I wouldn't do
So,
that.
so yeah, that was. But it turned out that person wasn't my friend or so.
So basically, like, so you stopped going to their house.
Yeah,
That,
like we just kind of drifted apart because I think I was putting in more, and
mm,
yeah, so
and you read the room.
exactly, like, okay,
And
let's
what
just.
age was this?
I know, like 15, 16, probably.
Quite young, yeah.
Quite young, yeah.
Honestly, I not to downplay our emotions at that age. Like, I just think we were just going through a lot from because these things when you look back at them, right? Why can't you just like ask like talk to the person like really? But then it probably was like I'm not going to blah blah blah. So yeah, it's always interesting looking back
Yeah.
in hindsight.
Do you have a time of when a friend has like really come true for you and you're like, oh, okay, this is a very nice friendship moment?
Honestly, like if I give one example, it would really be doing a disservice to like all the amazing people in my life. But there've been times where I love that you did that. So honestly, like one of the things I've dealt with recently is, and I'm probably still dealing with on some level, I think I mentioned on the podcast, is the loss of my uncle. And this really has triggered me so much that I cannot quantify how much. I don't think it's even done in my head, right? Neither forgive him and accept him. It's like week on week, day on day, well, week on week, let me not say daily, because that's probably a bit much. It comes to my mind, and I think about things like, how was he feeling in those last moments? What will my own last moments be? Oh, Allah, I don't want to go yet. There's this I want to do. But if it's time, so all these thoughts, all this stream of thoughts. By the way, this is one example, right? There are some people that are getting it real time. Like there are some people I talk to about it, and I think even you were asking me recently, oh, how am I feeling about XYZ? Because you had context. So it's like I don't take it for granted, and probably that's one of the best ways that a friend can show up for me is checking in on this really. It might seem mundane because it's like someone died. Okay, people die all the time, but I've realized that depending on what time you are in your life, things hit you differently, right? And so like more recently that I can remember, something that I'm still going through is just my friends like even coming to my house sometimes to be like, okay, let's talk. What's going on? Oh, I'm in your area. Like, I know how you feeling.
Yeah.
Just showing up for you in those ways. Or how you now feeling like, oh, you said you were going to try XYZ to sleep better because of this issue. Like, people actively checking it.
Yeah.
I've even had times where I've done medical procedures and people are showing up to my house with food. I can't quantify how much like the actual act of showing up, it's massive to me because it's not easy to do, right? It's not easy to leave your own stuff and leave your own worries, leave the things that are, bugging you down and say, oh, my friend told me this, I'm going to shop for them. So that was just like one of the many numerous examples, where
Yeah, I think you're right on the impact of having friends show up for you, like how it's really huge. I think a more recent example for myself would be maybe during the wedding time, like seeing your friends like
oh my God, the
yeah,
wedding is another one that
yeah, even friends that. So you mentioned something in the beginning of where you have some friends that because of how you guys maybe back in the days kind of friends, but
you
you're
will
like
always
still
be friends
but you still be
forever.
friends and then you're like seeing those people show up and you're like, oh okay, yeah, that's really good.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, my wedding was so there's someone like my friend Safia, she So we actually went through my husband, and I stole her
Stole the
from him.
friend.
Yeah. And we have so much in common, me and Sophia, and she's someone I admire a lot. And around my wedding time, I think I can share this because she also shared the story publicly. She was still recovering from a corrective surgery on her leg, because she had gotten into a pretty bad accident some months before, and she wasn't super mobile, but she showed up. She followed me to when I went to do my henna, when I went to do the spa that caused me to have like a reaction. By the way, guys, you are getting married. Never do the facial days before your wedding. She was there with me. We were like on the wedding day, even with our crutches, even with nah. Some of my friends, like, no, not dunking on anybody that didn't have any of these issues. They didn't show up that
Than
much.
the way she
They
did.
didn't show up that early. And I always say it like, because she doesn't live in Nigeria anymore. I always say that, like, look, if you want to do any wedding, just make sure I'm one of the
I'll
first.
be
Like,
there anywhere, any day.
because again, not only was it not convenient for her, like literally, she could have just showed up that day and I would have been super happy because I understand, but she was there all through for me,
Nice.
And so, shout out to Sophia, man. Shout out to Sophia. She's an amazing friend, and that's something I remember because she showed up not because it was convenient for her, but she placed me on that level, and inshallah, I'm able to also, show up for her that way.
I mean, like, maybe it is cliche because everyone always says it, but friendship is a two-way street. Like,
Absolutely.
you give and you receive. Like, you also expect to present the work. So she has already given, like, so.
Oh, she has given me a lot.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
They expected that.
And I always say that I'm not the best at so many things, but I will try. Like, I will try to match that energy as much as I can.
Yeah. Do you sometimes feel if a bad friend to someone? I think I do sometimes.
Why? Why would you feel
like not like I feel like I feel like maybe feel not like I'm a bad person, but like feel like maybe I should be doing more, or I should be, I don't know, maybe like there's something I should be doing more. So say for example, you have a friend that is going through maybe like having issues, financial challenges, or getting a job.
Financial is a tricky one, though.
Yeah, I mean it's a tricky one. Yeah, exactly.
Around that. I don't want. Let's not go.
yeah. But like you are like, okay, how do you try to be a better friend in that context, right? Like, is it that you want this? Like, what money do you want to give? What support do you want to give? Should you be doing this? Should you be doing that?
I'm a fan of putting your money where your mouth is. You should be generous with your friends. That being said, like, you have your own life. I'm sure you have siblings. I'm sure you have responsibility. So if there's an issue where someone, needs some financial help and you know that I can do X, don't hesitate to do it.
But not at the expense of yourself.
Your responsibility is suffering, right? So let's be clear about that, because Allah will ask you about your responsibility.
Yeah.
Hashtag just saying. I like to say Allah. I'm okay. It's true, we'll be there. But yeah, try to show up for your friends as much as possible, money wise as well. Obviously, not to the detriment of your responsibility and yourself. And I think there's this, like, you should have a spirit of discernment when there's a genuine need for something.
Exactly.
Versus
it's just
this person is just taking advantage of it. So if for example I have a friend who needs to write an exam, let's say GRE, and they can't afford everything, so I can come in if I have it and be like, oh, take X and add to this, right? But if you're telling me, oh, you want to go for a party and I'm going to it doesn't align with my own values. Like, you might value that thing, but I'm not going to stress myself, or break my back when I know I need to do X, Y, Z at home and come through for you. So weigh those things, discern, is this a need? Is this something that can potentially even change their circumstances? So even helping your friends to prepare for job interviews, helping your friends, like, I work in tech, so there's this whole thing about big techs, how their interview loops are very like intense.
Yeah.
You have to prepare well. So even doing mock interviews for your friends, right? For something that can potentially take them from I need your help all the time in this way to I'm independent and I can also do XYZ. I can also go on all these trips that, we can now afford it together. So always think about how you can push people or affect their lives in a positive way in that manner. Not necessarily, they call you today, I need 100K, that 100K. There's gonna be a day you don't have that.
Yeah.
You now become a bad person. So obviously show up for your friends, but have that spirit of discernment and even pray to Allah about these things. May Allah not make us do things where at the end of the day you now say, why did I even do it in the first place, right? May Allah always guide our steps. So sometimes, like, if I want to even do some things with my friend, I call my mom and ask her. That's how serious it is, because you might be thinking about it from one angle.
Yeah, but
you need the wisdom of other people who are also saying this. And I personally value my mom's opinion a lot, right? So I might do that sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Mom, I want to do it. I might not even tell her the name of the person.
What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. And she's giving me great advice. I love her.
Yeah. Have you ever had a friendship that ended badly? Like, you guys are like very good friends, then all of a sudden something just happened and yeah.
You know what? I don't think I've had like a dramatic
exit.
exit. Well, not that I can remember. There might be some again. People might be listening and be like, "Oh my God, that guy was
we
so
know
horrible
you.
to me. Oh, that was my terrible era. I'm a change
Better now."
But yeah, there was this person who, like, in uni, we used to walk together. We're in the same class. We used to walk together a lot. So it was actually part of a trio. By the way, a different trio from the one you think, not the ones you think. And we kept in touch, even coming out of school, we would talk, all of that. And I noticed that after a while, this was when I had moved there, like, they wouldn't really talk to me. I wouldn't hear from them. And I remember it got to a point one day that I just got so worried. I was literally calling.
The friend?
I was trying to get are you even alive? Like, let me know. You know how sometimes things can get stuck in your mind?
Yeah.
And maybe they didn't click or something. And they were in a relationship at the time. And so I asked the partner, because the guy was okay, and I was like, okay, have you heard from her? Is she okay? And I think the person just answered me in a way that, oh yeah, she's fine, or like in a way that insinuated they were going through something.
Okay.
Or maybe they don't want to. I don't know. And so I was just like, I hope the person is fine. I think I even tried to go through one of our other mutuals, a third person in our trio. But I mean, when it felt like they weren't willing to talk to me, and I know I felt very bad about it that time. Like, if I were the one and someone was reaching out to me on that level and they were that concerned, I put myself in the shoes and I was like, even if I didn't talk to the person at that time, I can text them and be like,
Oh,
I'm good. This would. It felt like there was a disregard for me on that level, complete disregard for my concern at the point. And if you know me, like, I'm very strict. Like, I'm very, very strict. And at the time, I was very hard on my friend as well, because I put you like this and, you didn't rate me. And I was just like, okay. I mean, obviously, you go and live in your life. And I think this person then came somehow on my Instagram to text me, like, what's up, us? Like, casually. See, when you mess up with, and this is to anybody, like, when you mess up on that level, for me, you can't just come back and say hi.
Trying to
I'm not going to answer you. And again, this is just because I'm very strict, as I said. And I feel like if I'm the one that messed up on that level, I'm going to type like episode like
to explain
to explain
why.
like Chalaye this story. And you just come in with I was just like, not me, you're not talking to me. And I was just like, I didn't talk to this since then. I've never spoken to this person. So it wasn't a blowout. It was just a thing of miscommunication, mismanaging the situation on both sides. Because in retrospect, and I've spoken to one of our other friends about it, like I was probably too hard. Like I should have
maybe
realized
even
that,
allowed her to say
or
it.
maybe those people responded to the high like that. Like so again, you look at these things now when
You're
as we're also
grown.
growing up,
Yeah.
adulthood is also and you're like,
Yeah.
now that I'm going through this kind of thing, like
Maybe I
see how
shouldn't.
I wouldn't have even had time if someone was coming to me or I didn't hear from you. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have even had time to explain. So for me, it's like just realizing that soft life in friendship is very important. You don't want to be so hard. Like there's a way to be principled.
And there's a way to cut your friend some slack. Like
Exactly.
just
Not
to
even
understand.
some. You need to cut them yards and miles
Slack.
of
Yeah.
slack. Because if you don't think about that moment, if you look at the past, the relationships you've had, like the ups and downs, the times when you guys showed up for each other, that history alone should give them all the slack they need.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
what about you?
I don't think I've had any dramatic friendships like exit. But one thing that I just know is I've had friendships that sort of fizzled out over time. So we got the particular time we were we were friends, like real friends. But because of our paths and the way everybody's growing in life, like we just got to a point where we're not aligned on some things. Like there's no even common things to discuss about. So like you are in this particular part, I'm in this particular part. There's no common interest again. So that friendship sort of fizzled out. That doesn't mean that if we see, we don't talk, we do. But it's one of my friends that we used to be very good friends, but now we don't talk as much. But anytime she posts on her status, my mom always
Comment.
like because she actually like we're that close to my mom having a number, and my mom still actually even talk to her. But for me at this point, I wouldn't say we are like close friends anymore because that sort of fizzled out. So I think that's what I've had. I've not had like dramatic friendship exit, but like friendships.
I honestly I think I would be very concerned, like, so just going into a bit of like self-introspection here. If I were someone and I was having huge blowouts and falling out with like people, and I'm never the one at fault, you need to check yourself.
Exactly.
Because I know a lot of people and younger people. Remember I was saying earlier about how when you are a teenager, like your hormones are running you. You think you're smart, but you're not. Sorry to teenagers, I've been a teenager. And it's like you are just so dramatic. And that's the period where you find people fighting over very mundane things. Fighting over men. Let's be factual because we're girls here. Like sometimes when you're like, oh my god, this is
Why did you do that?
this is so ghetto, right? So it's like check yourself, right? Like when you are doing you're doing this like negative patterns, you are saying like, oh, you're falling out with people a lot, or you can't maintain your friendships. Like look at yourself and ask yourself, like, okay, me, what
am I doing?
What am I doing wrongly? Forget about the other person. Like do a bit of self-introspection because like you said, it's a two-way street. I give, you give, I give, you give. It might not be at the same time. And it's never going to be like 50-50. At a certain time, someone might be a better friend, right? But how are you showing up? How are you even appreciative of that thing? Yeah.
So one of the things that I've been very intentional about this year was also like I have some friends that like this people are dear to me, and it got to a point because of adulting and life and everything, it kind of looked like we were starting to drift apart, and we're not constantly communicating. So now that I started the Snapchat streaking, I celebrated 100 days streaking with one of my friends today. So
now if it works for you guys, I'm
yeah,
among
yeah, exactly. So
I know
just
I'll never do that
to
because
find
I
a
can't even
medium, to
imagine.
find a medium of keeping close and
Love it.
ensuring
Love it.
that friendship. So to wrap it up, maybe one last question and to end on a sort of positive note. Have you ever introduced a friend to something new that they ended up loving?
I have one in mind. It's a very silly one.
Which one?
So I think I cook a very mean jollof rice, right?
Oof,
Yeah.
yeah, I can
So
attest to that.
and I think we were just hanging out one day and I was telling people, maybe they were asking, oh, how do I cook it? And I mentioned that, oh, I put a dash of crayfish. Cooking warriors, don't judge me. And so, if I'm not mistaken, two of my friends have actually tried it,
That
liked it, and
recipe.
I think they still do it today. So, it's a very trivial and silly one. But yeah, like, I've introduced them to crayfish.
I mean, I was thinking you were going to say the example of again circling back to Fatima Well's book, how I ended up
Oh,
loving.
you see, you guys, I put my friends on. I put my friends on. So yeah, I think I told you about the book.
Yeah.
But it was my friend Sophia that told me about it. I think she was so excited that I was like, okay, I have to read this book.
But
It's rare for her to rave about something like that. And it was like, oh, I read it. I now started telling others, like, hey, I read it. Look at us now. We have a whole list of books to read from this. But yeah.
yeah.
Honestly, I think we might need to do a part 2 of this. There are tons of things I want to talk about, like friendships across geographies, doing businesses together,
Oh, yeah. Or
because
maybe doing partnerships, like
partnership.
partnering or something. Yeah, maybe
I
a
have been in a
project.
situation where I think I mentioned when we were in Unilag, like we built this ticketing thing.
Yeah.
That time was really intense as well because it wasn't just all good stuff.
Oh,
We also had
yeah.
challenging bits working together.
My husband has story for days of when we
I
did
think we have to do
competitions
a part
together.
2 to this one, but
Yeah.
we can wrap this one up here.
Yeah.
Obviously, guys, please like, share, and subscribe.
Please. We want to
Comment,
hear your
share your
thoughts.
friendship experiences with us. And yeah, we'll see you again next week.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.